Any given day, hundreds of people who are charged with a crime in Oregon do not have an attorney. It's a problem because the United States Constitution gives them that right. Here's a breakdown of the situation right now. According to state court data, as of 5 p.m. this afternoon, 703 people had no attorney. The vast majority are in Washington and Multnomah counties. 71 of them are in jail, once again, mostly in Washington or Multnomah County. 512 have an active warrant on their case. Public defenders represent clients in other cases. However, criminal defense makes up a lot of their work. Here's the catch. Our investigation shows the total number of misdemeanor and felony cases filed statewide and in Multnomah County has dropped. Here's a snapshot of that caseload. Prosecutors statewide filed 78,000 felony and misdemeanor cases in 2019. So far this year, just under 54,000 through the end of November. In Multnomah County, prosecutors filed 12,200 cases in 2019. So far this year, roughly 5,300 through the end of November. Cases are down for a range of reasons. At least in Multnomah County, the DA's office says part of that reason is because police are referring fewer cases to its office. Tonight, we're going one-on-one with Multnomah County District Attorney Mike Schmidt about the shortage of public defenders, what he wants to see done, and whether he'll answer a call from defense attorneys to support judges dismissing even more low-level cases. The number of cases filed statewide has decreased according to court data. The number of pending cases has also dropped statewide. It's also dropped in Multnomah County. Why do you believe that's not helped the problem with public defense?
I mean, it should be helping the problem. Obviously, going through the pandemic, we saw big backlogs. We're coming back down from that because we're able to negotiate cases. We're going to trial. I think we're averaging now 8 trials per week. That helps us resolve cases. So it's good that that number is going the right way, but still every single week we show up, we're seeing cases get dismissed for a lack of defense attorney.
Do you believe local and state public defense agencies and firms have done enough to hire attorneys and address the crisis as the county's elected prosecutor?
You know, I think it's a complex problem. I've definitely seen them hiring. I've seen a new class of attorneys come on past the bar. I think one of the things that's frustrated me over the past couple years is the rate at which we're resolving cases. We have worked with the court, we've worked with the Chief Justice, we've worked with the defense firms to set up dockets, to set up settlement conferences where we could bring people in and resolve cases. And while that's had some limited effect, it really has not decreased the caseload to the extent that I think it should have.
Schmidt says the chief judge is setting deadlines for cases to go to trial. He says his office is also taking plea offers off the table if they're not accepted and taking cases to trial. He says staffers review all offers to make sure they're consistent. Some defense attorneys also say prosecutors could help by supporting dismissal of any case where probation is the presumptive sentence. Are you considering that?
No, I'm not. The reason why I wouldn't consider that is because, you know, my goal is to change people's behavior. And a lot of times we're seeing a lot of different things that are manifesting, substance use disorders, mental health challenges, things like that are turning into criminal episodes. If I just dismiss those cases because they were going to be on supervision, that means that that person is not going to be going to treatment, going to be referred to different services that might actually intervene on the thing that caused the behavior in the first place. So just dismissing the cases, there needs to be accountability, and hopefully we need to change behavior. That's the goal of the system.
Schmidt's office says judges dismissed nearly 300 felony and misdemeanor cases between February and October. A third of them involved stolen cars or felons charged with having a gun. Court records show many of the recent felony cases involved people who skipped court appearances. In many of the felony cases dismissed recently, defendants skipped appearances. Do you think dismissing those cases sends the message that people can avoid court and attorney appointments and have their cases dismissed?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that if you cannot show up and still get your case dismissed, that sends the wrong message, because then of course you're incentivized to never show up. What we're asking for in those situations when people don't show up is, instead of having the case dismissed, have a warrant go out for that person's arrest. And then when they're making contact with law enforcement again, they'll be arrested. We'll bring them back into the system and hopefully get them a defense attorney at that time. There still needs to be accountability, and hopefully, I mean, if we don't do anything to change a person's behavior, deal with the drug issue, deal with the mental health issue, whatever it is, then we're not going to be successful in changing the trajectory they're on. So there still needs to be accountability, and when they are brought into the system, we're going to hopefully try to connect them with services so that we can address what the issue that brought them here in the first place is.
Schmidt says his office objects to the dismissals because victims deserve to see cases resolved.
I have 22 years of experience. I do this because I love it, not for money.
Across Oregon, hundreds of people charged with crimes who can't afford lawyers are unrepresented. The Oregon Office of Public Defense Services says this is because of a public defender shortage. Katu's Christina Giardinelli talked with a public defender and lawmakers about some potential solutions to the problem. She joins us live in Salem. These are solutions we might see coming up in the 2023 legislative session, Christina.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, in 2022, Representative Janelle Bynum had tried to get a bill passed that would have forgiven student loan debt. It didn't pass that session, but she says in the upcoming 2023 session, she plans to bring it back. Officials say a shortage in public defenders is causing a crisis within Oregon's public safety system because there are not enough attorneys for people who can't afford them. Representative Janelle Bynum says this is going to be one of her main focuses in next year's legislative session.
We're letting people who have been accused of crimes off, and we're not giving victims their day in court.
Bynum previously tried to get a bill passed to forgive $25,000 in student loan debt for every year of service as an Oregon public defender.
You had to have a 3-year service agreement, essentially, but it could go up to $200,000 in repayment.
Tara Haravel is a contracted public defender with the state. She says she makes $105 an hour, which also has to cover overhead.
If you don't have the money, you're not going to be able to do the work to do public defense or other kind of nonprofit work. You won't be able to live.
She estimates at the end of the day, her take home is about half of the contract pay. She says the increasing cost of tuition is not helping.
With today's law school tuitions, it chases out many people.
It's something Bynum wants to tackle again. She says the main reason it failed in 2022 was because of money it appropriated from the budget.
We had requested $25 million.
Why do you think that it will make it through in a year where there's a recession predicted?
So public safety is very important to Oregonians. They told us that in the elections.